animated episode, right? In this anime so far, it is clearly has great Sakagami moments, right? It has all these badass scenes. I really liked that they made him fight, big bosses, right? Of course, it's a visual thing because Daida stands there and fights someone. But they all felt like they were swinging against his father. It obviously looks visually better fighting a giant, especially his body is so tiny. And yeah, it gave me some Elden Ring PTSD, but yeah, a huge guy, a little tiny main cat and so on. So they felt better. But, well, I can say, the whole episode had like really good Sakagami. If you go back in a scene here. But this kind of stuff, right? So the episode was obviously really well detailed, all the stuff from our angle. Not only is the fight good, but like this kind of stuff too. How you see the angle, the 3D vision, kind of how they're moving, the scaling, and so on. So later he is crawling towards Miriam and so on. Right? So there's a lot of this stuff too that made the fight look really spectacular, and not just like the actual fight itself. But yeah, the episode had many things, right? So the spicy stuff. Yeah, Boji of course wins pretty easily too. Yeah, everyone is like, oh, he just defeated him. He was easy. Bossi couldn't do shit. And I like that Despa was like, don't do it in Boji's way, man. You guys are too weak. Yeah, that scene was great. When Domas is like, oh god, I get my, redemption and so on, right? And he's just like, they don't even try, man. You guys are just losers. You can't do shit against this guy. You're just gonna be in the way of Boji. Boji is too OP. Just go and hide somewhere. But yeah, that's the fight. That fight looked great, of course. Now we're talking about the spicy stuff, right? The storylines. Miriam, of course, finally kind of explains not all of her backstory. We did see a little bit of Satan later as well. But yeah, it finally explains why she killed Boji's mom, right? It actually was pretty straightforward. She just killed him because, she was like, well, I need to make more babies, right? We need more babies, and mom can only give birth once, right? There's some weird giant thing in this anime. The giant can only have one kid. So she was like, I need to kill, the wife, so he can get a new wife, and then, of course, get more kids, right? So I can rescue him with the next kid. So she really loves having, Bossi making babies. But arguably, though, given her powers and how it works, it feels a little bit like Bossi, I guess, wouldn't do it, but it feels like she could have used, like, he could have cheated on his wife. Yeah, if the only reason was that he just needed to make more pregnancy babies, right? Would his wife be against that? Because she knows she can't give birth either, right? It is one thing that the anime didn't explain, though, and that is that, of course, so giant can only have one baby. But what about, like, Daida and Boji? But Boji is, he used to be a giant, he's a giant actually, but he's a tiny as well. So what about him, right? What does that mean? I guess also most of the females anyway. But what about Daida then? If Daida was a woman or whatever. But then you'd be like, what happens if you're half giant? Can you name a baby so on? And it's also like, what the giant race are then gonna be extinct? Talk about. Obviously, it's weird. I mean, there's obviously some backstory that we don't know, right? Because if the giants only can have one kid each, right? Or at least the females, how could it ever be more giants, right? So if, say we have 2 giants 1,000 years ago, they will have 1 giant kid and then it will stop, right? So, yeah. I mean, of course, the backstory has to be something like the giants are made out of mounted something. The giants are made out of something else, right? But anyway, that's Miriam's true bad Miriam, right? But it felt like a really weird deception thing, honestly, because so Satan eats her, right? She goes into his stomach, and then inside his stomach, there's another Satan eating other stuff into his new stomach. Are they then also being eaten into the next stomach? Is it like a stomach and a stomach and a stomach? Or it's just, if he eats you, you're sent to some kind of hell dimension where he's tinier and he still eats you or something. It feels kind of weird if he will keep eating you, if he will eating you. But anyway, Miriam was caught stuck in here. It doesn't feel like it's going to be long though, right? It really feels like, of course, the last 2 episodes now is going to be about Boji fighting Satan, right? For some reason. And I guess we're going to maybe learn a little more about his promise, right? Because Miriam mentioned again here that she has this promise she broke, right, with Satan. And he was angry at her. So in the time where he rescued her from the death, right? So she got betrayed by the people, and then she got in the mirror, right? He mentioned that you have betrayed me, right, with some promise. And she's again crying, saying that, oh, I'm sorry about that promise, right? So there is some kind of childhood promise that, unfortunately, as always in the anime, we saw her playing as a kid, right, with the hand thing, as an opening with Satan, but we didn't see, what it meant, right, the promise. So that might be next episode finally, maybe, right? Kind kind of going into what is his promise he's angry about. Maybe it's a love thing, right? Is anime love storylines? Maybe he loves her, or used to love her, and he was like, you're gonna marry me, but she was like, oh, I could only be with Bossi. Maybe something simple as that, like he was in love with her and she could only love Bossi or something, right? But that's certainly gonna save her. She's probably still dead, right? So if you save her, yeah, you just get a soul back if she then fights to her mom and so on, right? But I say one thing though, that this backstory doesn't explain it all, and I don't think they're ever gonna explain that. I guess not. It's like, why was Myrmonden betrayed her, right? This doesn't actually, for whatever reason, not at all explain why they betrayed her for. It explains that she really wanted to kill, current wives. They can have a new wife, and then I guess healing to get a new wife, whatever. So like, oh, I'm gonna kill the wife, so you get a new wife, like that. She was kind of like that, but it doesn't explain why the mercs at all betrayed her. Because yeah, that seems random. They shot her down, right? And actually killed Mariano, of course, the Hagas in the mirror. Yeah, unfortunately, this backstory did not explain that whatsoever. Why they got her, and of course why Satan also helped her for. But we can guess kind of what he helped her for, but it doesn't really. Yeah, I wish they could have maybe explore a little bit like why did they even kill to begin with. But anyway, he's like, I gotta kill off Myrmonden, right? Gotta end her life. They both can die or something. But it's more like destroying the mirror, so they both can die together. But yeah, what a scene, massive goosebumps. But one thing that's interesting is that Myrmonden finally realized that died as in pain and Bossi died in pain. And it makes a lot of sense too, because she never actually asked, right? You know, she just revived Bossi into Daida. And of course he says later he wants to die without, you know, his soul so he can save his son, right? And yeah, he never actually wanted to take over his son's body. So in the end here he's like, I gotta destroy her so she can't do this again, right? And kind of free yourself, both of us, from this ordeal, right? And by destroying her, I guess he would also free himself from his son. So isn't it mostly he has to kill her, so he killed himself so he can then like save Daida. That boss is crying and so on. But that's why I understand, right? If he kills Myrmonden, he kills himself, which then of course saves his son right before Daida dies. So it seemed that was the main agenda, why he had to do it. You know, killing the woman he loves, his son, yeah. Always the anime is crazy good, right? Crazy good. I wish the only thing I do is a little irritated on. Obviously, Bossi loves Myrmonden, right? And she's also on his side and so on. But I do think it's a little bit one thing I don't like on his side is that he's so forgiving of her, what she's done, right? Like he still loves her and she's still forgiving. Because it felt kind of strange that after this scene, he kind of tells her that, oh, you know, don't be worried, Myrmonden. I was very happy, you know, being married to my wife and so on, right? And it does this like, you know, flashback and so on. That he's just like, oh, I was so happy. I was so happy being married, right? You know, and my life was so good. Don't you be angry. Don't you think that I was angry, Myrmonden? I really loved the life you gave me, kind of thing. But obviously, she killed this woman. So it feels a little bit, okay, sure, he has like a good love with the next woman too. But doesn't this feel a little strange that he's like, oh, don't worry, Myrmonden, I'm not angry, you know, I had a great life, you know, I love my wife, yeah, was she killed? So again, I feel that's a little bit weird, how he so easily just forgives her for murdering his first wife, which he really loved, right, you know, because first they wanted just to, you know, pregnant someone, then yeah, he actually fell in love with her, right, and so on, and he loved his son and so on, yeah, so it feels a little strange that he's like, oh yeah, Myrmonden, don't worry, I don't feel any anger that you killed the woman I love, because he was also in love with her, right, it's a little bit, oh yeah, he's way too forgiving her, even though she's obsessed with him, but a little bit. Yeah, I like how Boji's just happy to Boji's like, yeah, Dad! He's just healing and died. Like, oh, you're gonna die, but Boji is used to it. He's like, oh, this is awesome, this is sweet, man. Yeah, Daddy, carry me around. But, yeah, very sad action episode, right? Stuck a guy the first 10 minutes. Some jokes, love Despa was being like, yeah, that's me, I'm the big trainer. Into, of course, sadness and depression. Yeah, certainly. Guys, that was my ranking. See, with 2 more episodes, but again, I guess they're gonna fight Satan, right? I guess, because they're gonna redeem Myrmonden's soul, right? Certainly. But yeah, I guess that's one. So I guess the more course with the Clover, 1 billion wifers, and of course Vanita, with a new arc there, with Dominic being main girl in the arc, I guess. And you know, Saturday, no match and so on. Anyway, I'll take a short break, guys, and I'll see you on Twitch with Elden Ring, where I fight giants, you know, big giant guys. Now, but seriously, like, go to that region, it's called like I don't know, hill giants or hilltop of the giants or something. So it literally is like the giant place in that game. So I'm gonna feel like Boji killing all those goddamn giants, right? But anyways, you guys have a great day.